Hello, how you doing? This is Neil from masterpaintingnow.com with over 84,000 students on Udemy for my different courses. My most popular courses being my anatomy courses. I have Anatomy 2.0 right now on my website. So the link is in the description, masterpaintingnow.com, for only $13, normally $100. So definitely recommend checking that out. So we're going to draw this pose here. I got this from Shutterstock, as you can see. And this is I would say it's not a super difficult pose, but it's between medium and difficult. So it's definitely not an easy pose. And of course you can use a lot of draw from what you see techniques with angles and stuff like that to help out with this pose. But if you want to just kind of draw it from imagination, it's definitely, either way, it's a difficult pose. So the first thing I'm going to do is I imagine this shape right here. I'm like, okay, that right there is a little bit shorter than this right here. But that gives me a good starting point to kind of have this and this angle here. That gives me a good starting point to make sure everything kind of falls in line. And so this is like what I would do if I was drawing purely from my imagination. And then I'm like, okay, so I know I also need to add the angles of the shoulders and the hips. That also helps. And that's actually really good to do whether you're purely drawing from mind or using from mind techniques and drawing from reference to get the angles of the shoulder and the hips, because then like kind of the angle you can have the rib cage versus the pelvis. And so that's the next thing that I'm going to establish after I have so here's the angle of the rib cage and the pelvis, as you can see. So the rib cage is coming this way, the pelvis is coming this way, and that accounts for these two angles here. And then I'm going to kind of put in a basic shape for the rib cage and a basic shape for the pelvis. I know, okay, I'm like, all right, that's a good starting point. That looks about right, proportionally everything. So I know that it has to build. And this I'm doing from imagination. I'm not looking at the photo to design this. I'm designing this from what I know. I'm like, okay, I know this is the center line. Let's draw the ribcage in here. I know I'm going to see some of the side of the ribcage and make sure that's right. Look back at the photo and go, okay, yeah, I can see some of the side right here of the ribcage, so I know I got that right. She has a slight twist to her upper body as well. Right here, you can see her upper body is twisting away, which is why you can see part of that side. Just do a basic shape for the hand, which is too big, so I just make it smaller. And now I need to capture this foreshortening here. Right, I can see the knees coming toward us. There's quite a bit of foreshortening. This, because from here to here should be the same length as from here to here, right? But it's not. It's a little bit shorter. So I know it's coming toward us. And even if you're drawing this from imagination without any references whatsoever, you would still have to consider foreshortening, right? So that's one of the hardest things to think about. But you have to remember to think about it like, okay, if the knee's coming toward me, the camera, then I need to foreshorten it, right? Because the leg's coming toward me. And you got to consider that. Now I could have made it towards less coming toward me. I could have made it coming down this way more. But then it would have been overlapping down here, right? It would have overlapped this leg. And so I could have done that. And that might actually look better as a drawing. But sometimes foreshortening looks weird. Gotta make sure I get these angles right. And the way the foot looks, because it's coming into the shoe and then the toes are pointing toward us, it's as if the foot is being cut off. So you have to account for that, because the toes are pointing straight at us. And I'm just still kind of working on the basic shapes and stuff, make sure it looks right. I wanted to bring that down more, because even though in the photo I can see her leg isn't that thick from here to here, one way I could have done this is take this and drew it down here more, so that way it'd be more even. But I definitely wanted to make sure that this was on the ground, right, flat against the ground. If I wanted to be more accurate to this, I just could make this leg thicker like this, and that would have made everything more closely related. Now that I'm looking at it, it kind of bugs me. I kind of wish I would have done that. Here I spent, I think, too much time adding shadow for a quick sketch. But I could make for my sketch this right here be the center of attention, and therefore all this would receive more detail. But I don't follow that through because I don't give that kind of detail to the breast. So here I'm thinking about several things. I'm looking at the photo, but I'm also thinking about, well, her ribs, if she's kind of turning her ribs away from me, right? So this is going to be more for short, and we're going to get more of a side view of this breast, and this is going to be more, straight on. So we're getting kind of a 3/4 view of the breast here, but also she's kind of leaning back a little bit, like their upper chest is kind of, so we're seeing in the way the camera is sitting lower, so we're kind of looking up at the breast a little bit. So I know the space between here and the breast is going to be shorter than normal. Remember that flat plane I talk about that's above the breast? That's typically bigger, but when you're looking up at all at a figure, that gets shorter. So I'm accounting for that, and then I'm putting in the breast shape here. And to remember to have this space between the breast always. Even from a 3/4 view, you still have this space between the breasts because the breasts are falling to the side. And so don't forget to have that there. I notice sometimes oftentimes my students will make that mistake. They'll have this breast overlapping this one, and it doesn't look right because it's not right. The only way that will happen is if you go to extreme 3/4 view where you're almost going to side view, then this breast will start to overlap that one. Or from this angle, if she's wearing a bra that pushes her breast together, you can get something like that. But naturally, without a bra, that's not going to happen. It has to be a kind of bra that pushes your breast together. And from here, I'm just kind of adding some very basic shading. I'm kind of going by the photo a little bit, and a little bit by just imagination, because a lot of her body is being closed. See, I could have added a lot more detail in this area here, in the breast area, to kind of make all that be the center of attention. And it's a really small drawing, so I can't get too detailed with the face, but I could at least add some basic shadows in. And this, I completely designed this. I'm not looking at this at all. Like, I don't care what her face looks like. I know what a 3/4 view face looks like, so I'm just completely designing that. You can see where I'm designing it because I'm using my knowledge, right? So I take the oval. Notice that the head is very much oval, right? It's just slightly alter the shape of an oval, to add in this little indent for the eyes and the forehead and the cheek coming out a little bit. And you have a head, so you can start with this oval. Like, it's for so long I wondered why ovals, It's because the face honestly fits into an oval. And then you just, for 3/4 view, you just draw the oval and then pop the ear to the side, and bam, you got a 3/4 view, and the head is going to come out here. You can see a little bit more of the skull right here. And so see right here, I'm designing. See how I designed this little Pac-Man wedge? Boom. I know that's going to happen from a 3/4 view. And then I have the wedge here. That Pac-Man wedge is followed all the way through because I know the eyes are set in. And then I add the little triangle for where the nose is going to be, where the mouth is going to be. Add the shape of the jaw, hairline, right? And see how I'm building the eyes into the sockets. So I'm building the sockets first. Then I have the little eyes inside the sockets. The sockets weren't high enough, so raised them. Got inspiration from the photo here because she has her eyes like this, where you can see her eyelids are kind of closed. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and follow that. Looks cool. Kind of a lazy, sultry look. I followed the photo to give her basic shadowing. And then I'm going to change the hair, make it a little bit longer. Which, I don't know, kind of looks goofy, but I didn't feel like redrawing it, so I left it. Kind of smoothed out some of the shading, put my signature, and there she is, all done. So this pose isn't easy. It might take you a few times to get the feel of it. One thing I recommend doing, if you're just having a really hard time drawing it to where it looks right, and at least to where it looks good. Again, not trying to draw what you see. Anyone can do that with practice, right? Anyone with any sort of artistic talent. I shouldn't say anyone, but people that draw, that's the first thing they learn how to do is draw what they see. And a lot of artists, that's as far as they ever get. They can only draw what they see. And so they have to always have references for everything. They can't really invent on top of that, right? Like I can take this and turn her to Superwoman. I can make this a Superwoman drawing, right? And they wouldn't be able to do that because they would have to have a photograph of Superwoman in this pose, to draw Superwoman in this pose. And so it's how do I word this? Anyway, for me it was boring. So if you want to take that knowledge to a new level, you want to take your talent to a new level, then I highly recommend watching or going through, not just watching it, to go through all the exercises. Go through my anatomy course. My latest one would be the best one to start with. It's 14 hours of just packed information and exercises and things that will guaranteed make you better. I teach in a certain way that will teach you how to embed certain things into your mind so that you can build upon those things. And the exercises are to build that knowledge and that data bank up in your brain so that when you draw, you can draw from your imagination. But also helps you to invent things, based on what you're looking at. So you can take things and change it, take a pose and change it. It just makes the drawing experience so much more enjoyable. But anyway, what I was going to say is if you're having a hard time with this one, whatever you do just isn't quite feeling right, then I think your head's a little big. I probably should, now that I'm looking at it, it's like, it's about right, but I don't know. I'd probably want to make it a little bit smaller. But anyway, so also her right hand still looks a little big to me, the way I drew it. I think it could be a little bit smaller. So what you do is you trace over the photo. Just trace exactly. Take the photo, turn the layer down, and then put a layer on top of it, and just draw and trace right over it exactly as it looks, and then turn it off, and you can get an idea. Go, oh, wow, I didn't think. You might be surprised at what the trace over looks like. It's gonna look a lot different than the photo. Like turn the photo off now, and just look at your drawing that you traced over, and you're like, whoa, that looks not at all like the photo. It looks very different in a lot of ways because it doesn't have all the same lighting and everything. And then do that again, but just draw the basic shapes. Don't trace over it exactly. Just draw the basic shapes over it. So draw the rib cage, draw the pelvis shape, draw the head shape. Just get that basic dynamic down between the hips and the rib cage, and then turn off the photo and look at that basic sketch, and that will really help you get a feel for that pose and go, oh, okay, I see what's happening here now. And then try it again. Now without tracing, draw it again, and you'll find that drawing is going to come out much better. There's even times where I struggle with certain poses, and it's like, man, why am I not getting this? I don't know if the day is just bad or something, but I just can't get the pose for the life of me. And I'll do that trick I just told you, and then I'll draw it again. It's like, oh, it all clicks, and I get it. It sets my brain in the right mode. That's it. So, hey, if you enjoyed this at all, do me a favor, hit that like button. Leave a comment too. It helps. Leave a comment. If you don't want to request what kind of tutorial I should do next, then just leave a comment saying thanks, and that'd be awesome. So I appreciate it. And what do you want to see next? Would you like to see, someone said they want to see poses with clothing. Well, that's kind of defeats the purpose, because the whole purpose of drawing a pose is to learn anatomy, to learn how the figure works. So I imagine what they meant was they want to learn how to draw clothing, because that's a different topic, right? And I can do that too. I have some on here about clothing on my channel now. So if you just search my channel for clothing in folds, you'll see I have some old tutorials on how to draw folds and stuff like that and clothing. But yeah, so I guess I could do a clothing one, a pose with clothes. Like this one has clothes. I just drew it without it. And that's how I would do it, right? I would first try to imagine how the pose is without clothes, and then, let's drape the clothes onto this pose. That's the best way to do it, even if the person's already wearing clothes, right? If you don't want to draw what you see, want to invent what you see, then you would do it that way. But all right, that's it. Thanks for watching.